there are patterns around the summer holidays. There are things that become difficult because it's an opportunity for the abusive co-parent to try to establish dominion and like bully the mother, and to continue to exert that control and that upset of the mother through the arrangements for the children. Hello, and thank you for joining me in this very brief vlog for the Survivor Diaries. This is just confirming that we are still here. I don't intend for this to be a long one. It is the summer holidays, and I'll come back to this throughout this vlog. Even though it's a very brief vlog, I'm still going to disclaim that any law or legal procedure that I'm referring to, this is the law as it applies in the jurisdiction of England and Wales, and I could only be giving very general advice unless I've spoken to you about your own specific situation. And I am, as always, discussing abuse which is based on Pat Craven's model of the dominator, as shown in the Freedom Programme and in her book Living with the Dominator. This is based on domestic abuse being a product of a patriarchal society, and therefore it tends to be presented in a male to female scenario. I'm doing a video series about the co-parenting relationship, and therefore that is usually male to female. It does not mean that I don't accept that other forms of abuse happens, that it doesn't happen from female to male or between same sex. It doesn't mean that at all. It's just this is the model that I am using. So we're confirming we're still here. It's been the summer holidays, which obviously changes routines a lot, and that's what I'm going to come back to in this vlog and in the next episode. So one of the things that's happened is I've been and had a lovely holiday away with my daughter, and a lovely holiday, lovely people, far too short a holiday, and then that obviously puts pressure on my department, on my work, because my working partner then has to cover my cases and vice versa when he goes away. So that just generally makes us very, very busy. Of course, it is the summer holidays and wanting to spend time at home if possible. So generally what I see is that during the summer holidays, there's a disruption to the normal pattern of arrangements that parents are experiencing. Often, if you've got younger children, then there's a childcare issue and the classic what to do with the children during the summer holidays. And it also presents a situation that I'm going to come back to in a second, which is the inspiration for the next episode, which is an opportunity for the abusive co-parent to further the abuse in patterns that I see in the Children Act cases that I deal with and in the numerous people that I'm speaking with on a daily basis about domestic abuse and how it continues through the child arrangements. Other things that have been going on, obviously I've referred throughout the vlogs to my own proceedings. These are now at an end for the moment, and I'm hoping that that is a long-term end. Without going into too much detail, again, I've got a situation where the law has worked. It has made findings. Those findings relate to things that I've said in other vlogs about 2002, physical violence, 2004, threats to kill. And it also made findings which were based on the injury, the psychological injury that I experienced in November 2018, which was a form of complex PTSD, for which I was receiving, and still am receiving, medical attention and support to deal with that, which was a very serious thing. I was off work for 6 weeks, as I have mentioned in previous vlogs, and it found that that had been caused by a continual denying of the domestic abuse that had previously been found, and the harm that that then caused, in that it brings everything up again. So that's good. The law worked. The court made findings, the court made protective, very protective orders, and I do feel much more secure. The non-molestation order carries an immediate power of arrest, and I can feel myself relaxing. So that's a good thing that's been happening over the summer. And obviously, having been through proceedings, they are quite exhausting. And again, speaking as a court user, it's very difficult to convey the exhaustion of these proceedings on people who are already flat out trying to do the best that they can do as a parent, and that's just normal parenting. The additional pressure of the court proceedings is something that I've covered previously, and how it doesn't happen in a vacuum, and normal life doesn't stop. There's still shoes to buy, there's still tea to cook, the bath night, just all of it. So the other thing that I have done, I have been quite active behind the scenes. I've been speaking to my current clients and other people through various social media groups that I'm becoming connected with, and that was connecting as a court user, speaking to predominantly mothers, also trying to manage the child arrangements with a parent who is not, it's not a normal co-parenting relationship, and this is the thing that I'm trying to demonstrate for the court user and for the court system. You cannot co-parent with an abusive personality because it's not a normal co-parenting relationship. And what I've seen through those conversations and through work is that there are patterns around the summer holidays. There are things that become difficult because it's an opportunity for the abusive co-parent to try to establish dominion and like bully the mother, and to continue to exert that control and that upset of the mother through the arrangements for the children, because those arrangements during the holiday periods, they usually change, in that the children are on summer holiday, so that's the first thing, and therefore that might put a greater dependence on childcare and things like that. Something that frequently seems to come up is when permission to take the children abroad has been given and then it's withdrawn at the last minute. So that's one of the things that we're going to cover in our upcoming episode, which hopefully will be before the end of this week. As I said, this is just to give you a quick update to say that we are still here, we are in the background. As the summer holidays are now beginning to draw to a close, we will be getting back to our usual speed of hopefully producing one vlog or episode per week. And I hope that you'll continue to support the Survivor Diaries. We're also going to a phase where I want to start sharing these messages more publicly now that I'm not a court user. So if you can help me to share this channel with other people who are experiencing child arrangements and where there's been domestic abuse between the adult co-parenting relationship and surprise, surprise, they're having difficulties, please direct them to the videos which will continue to provide a free resource for people experiencing domestic abuse continuing through the child arrangements, which it always does. Once again, thank you for watching, and I hope that these are informative and useful. It's a very loud pen click, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. So I'm just quickly adding a section, and it's after the bit where I've talked about my own proceedings. And one of the things that I meant to mention, which is quite important, is that the other thing to say about my own proceedings, and again referring to a previous vlog or episode that we've done, which is about mental health and court proceedings, I've discussed there the fact that people who need to see a doctor for potentially mental health issues coming out of an abusive relationship or being subject to child arrangements proceedings with an abusive personality, they may be experiencing high levels of anxiety, depression, having flashbacks, PTSD type things, and they are not seeking help. And that's one of the messages that I've been trying to get across, is that you should seek help and you should feel okay about these things being on your medical records, because the family justice system would just want to see that you were doing everything you could to be the best parent that you can be, and what more can they ask but for you to seek medical help with issues like that. So just reiterating that point that's made in there. So I did say in that episode that my own proceedings would not be affected in an adverse way, in a bad way, by the fact that I was seeking medical help for mental health issues arising as a result of the domestic abuse relationship. So that's just confirming that message, that it's okay to speak to your doctor, especially if you are experiencing some issues, having to deal with your abuser again. And to be honest, that could be perfectly understandable as well.